What's up, good people? Come on into the room.
Good evening.
Absolutely good evening to you. Hopefully, today has been a good day. Hopefully, you have experienced greatness on today, and now you're getting to experience more greatness on tonight. Come on in here. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you into the Marriage Village room where we talk about all things marriage and relationship. Come on in here. I'm going to go on and slide this down because you know what I say. I don't want to have a bad attitude towards my dear friend, Mr. Molly Music.
Trust me, you do not want those problems.
I don't want to have a problem with Mr. Molly. I don't want to have a problem with Facebook and YouTube. I don't.
Mr. Molly.
Yeah. I don't want to have them problems. I just want to be able to. What's up, Elandria? Good to see you on tonight.
And Jared.
Hey, Mr. Jared. Good to see you as well. We welcome you both into the Marriage Village room. You guys are no strangers. Actually, you guys are part of the Marriage Village because you've been with us pretty much every step of the way.
From the beginning in our Florida days.
Listen. And when we were, because we actually started in Ohio, and that year of 2017, we moved to Florida. So good to see you guys. Welcome into the room. Come on in here. The question on the floor is this. Wait for it. How are you doing? That's the question. How are you guys doing? We want to know how you're doing, how your day been.
How you doing?
I know. If you live in the South, you probably, if you have kids, have seen your kids off to school last week or this week. We, I work for a school, so we started last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So this is the first full week of school, and when I tell you,
my Lord,
it has already started to begin to be crazy, but God has been with us and all has been well. Hopefully the same has been for you. Hopefully your children are off to having a great start in school and get ready to get their academic excellence on. Absolutely. Yes. She said first day of school, tired. Amen. We get that. Alandria. What does Mr. Jared do? What does he do? What does he do for occupation? And did you guys see the kids off together, or was it just one of you? What did that look like? You know what I'm saying? Because we've been out the game for 5 years now?
We haven't had to do a first day of school for our kids.
Yeah.
We got other kiddos that we love, godchildren, things like that. But as far as Martin children,
okay. At the airport. Okay. Give me some free tickets, Mr. Jared. I just want one. That's all I need. Just one. Just one. I'm saying for both of us. I'm saying one flight. See?
Okay.
I just need you to wait. I need you to wait for it. You understand what I'm saying?
It's too.
She already on my neck, Jared. You see how it happens? You see how it goes, Mr. Jared?
I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta stay together, Jared. We gotta stay together as men. We have to stay together against these women because they like to beat us up and jump on us before we get all of our words out. You know what I'm saying? So the question on the floor is, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I am doing great. I took a little nap and it worked against me tonight. Normally when I take a nap, I feel better.
Oh.
I'm a power napper. But tonight.
Your power nap didn't work.
I feel a little sleepy.
You don't got the power, huh?
Andrew said no discount.
Come on, man.
We tried. How you doing? How you feeling?
Listen, you already know. Y'all know what I say. I don't have bad days. I may have a bad moment, and a bad moment doesn't become a lifestyle. So, I am great. Had a great day. The beginning of school has been good. We are handling things as they come. And, all is well on this side, all is well. I have no complaints. Tonight we're going to have this conversation, though. We're going to have this conversation and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it on tonight. You know what I'm saying? But before we start talking, there's something that I need to say. Okay. It's Monday. You see these two marvelous faces sitting in front of you. It's after 9 o'clock. That can only mean one thing. You say, what does that mean, Joe? I'm glad you asked. It's Marriage Village Mondays. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yes, it's Marriage Village Monday. Let's go. Let's have this conversation. If you just came on, we want you to let us know who you are so we can give you a good old wonderful introduction and hello into the Marriage Village on tonight. Tonight, we're going to have this conversation. And tonight, we're going to talk about this in the frame of a question. And we got an acronym to go along with it. What?
Alonzo says, sang it.
You know what I'm saying? What's up, bro? Good morning.
Good morning, Lonzo.
Good morning, Lonzo. Good to see my little bro, our little bro on tonight.
Correct.
But we're going to have this conversation. And the conversation is around the word hard. And the question is, why does it have to be so hard?
Why is it so hard?
Why is it so hard?
Why is it so hard?
Why? You know what I'm saying? We just got to know why it's so hard. So break down what hard really is.
So when we talk about why is it so hard tonight, it's really about conversations, relationship. Why does it have to be so hard? And so HARD is an acronym, as Joe said. And so, H is heavy. But we're going to go through each one of these. But the H is for heavy. The A is for argumentative. The R is for raw. And then the D, we're going to get to that a little bit later, but we'll dig into it. But it is really disruptive. Why does it have to be? Why is it this hard? Why does it have to be? Why do relationships have to be heavy? Why do they have to be argumentative? Why does it have to be? Things just have to be so raw, seemingly raw all the time, or disruptive. Okay. And so when we talk about these things, there's a couple things that fall into this category. Okay. So conversations about boundaries, conversations about commitment, whether you're single pursuing a committed relationship or whether you are married, just kind of deciding the things that you want to commit to or not as a married couple. Okay. Sometimes those can be hard. Past relationships. All right. And how they show up in your current relationship. Okay. Your fears and even conflicts. So these are things that can kind of be hard in relationships, but these are the things that kind of shape the foundation of strong relationships. So we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. So the question is, why is it hard? Well, here's the thing. So what's the thing? Sometimes we tend to avoid hard things, and I like to tell my students, and I picked it up from somewhere, but we can do hard things. And when I was in a Christian school, so I could say we can do hard things with the help of the Holy Spirit. Absolutely. And so I say the same thing, to us tonight. We can do hard things. And so we want to just kind of unpack this topic, unpack this subject a little bit. So we'll start with the H. Okay, so our segment 1, if you will, why do things have to be so heavy? And so when we're talking about things that are heavy, we're talking about conversations that carry emotional weight. Okay. So maybe finances, planning a family. Okay. Intimacy, in the relationship, in the marriage. And then, of course, you all know we always talk about trauma and how it shows up. Unhealed trauma will show up in every relationship in your present. So it may be in the past. Things maybe have happened in the past, but they're going to show up if they're undealt with in your present. So, so those are the kind of things we're going to kind of just lay that out there. So, so again, things that carry emotional weight, those are the things that are heavy. So finances, family planning, intimacy, trauma. So these aren't like casual chats. These are serious things, but they feel heavy. So why would you say these things just kind of feel heavy to talk about? Because we don't have the right perspective of relationship. When you have the right perspective of relationship,
the right perspective in relationships helps you to, from a healthy perspective, handle the heaviness of the relationship. Anything that's, especially when you're talking about marriage, anything that has God connected to it is going to have a heaviness and a weightiness to it. So you can't avoid the obvious. Love is heavy. Mm-hmm. Love is heavy. When you talk about loving somebody, when you start talking about having to understand and what's going on, Taylor? Good to see you on tonight, little bro. When you start to talk about being in a relationship and walking in love with someone, is heavy, man. Because a good portion of the time you're walking in a relationship to learn how to be a better version of yourself. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is to realize where the hardest thing to do is to realize a fault or a flaw in your person. Because what's the natural thing for us to do? To want to look at the faults and flaws of someone else. It's a little bit challenging when you have to turn the mirror on yourself and say, okay, where do I need to change at? Where do I need to get better at? How can I love this person and let them have their flaws and still love them as they're growing to a better version of themselves? Because we all should be growing into a better version of ourselves.
Absolutely. And so that having that understanding that we're both growing should lift some of the weight, in these conversations that we're having. So for example, okay, so not for example, let me do this first. What is the natural instinct when something is heavy? If something is too heavy, what is our natural response?
To get it off of us.
Drop it, right? Get it off, put it down, delay it, dodge it. But really, the truth of the matter is when we avoid heavy conversations, it doesn't make it lighter. When we avoid heavy things, it doesn't make it lighter. It just makes the burden lonelier. So it's like you're still carrying it. You're still weighted down. And you kind of feel like that lonely, sinking feeling because you think that you have to carry it on your own.
I think when you that's why I started out with having a healthy perspective. When you have healthy perspective helps you put heaviness into perspective. The relationship is going to be heavy because it's worth something. Anything that's worth something is going to carry weight. And if it doesn't carry weight, then it's not going to be worth a lot because it doesn't carry that weight. When you love somebody and then you're challenged with the idea or the thought to break up or to leave, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have that because sometimes you don't want to have that conversation. What's up, Nikita? Good to see you on tonight. Yeah. So the thing is when it comes to when you have the right perspective, heaviness is, to me, expected. It should be heavy. It should carry some weight. Because if it's not heavy in your life, you'll just let it go.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at heaviness. I look at my relationship with the Lord. It carries weight in my life. So it's not so easy for me to walk away from it. It's not so easy for me to detach from it and disengage from it because it's heavy. It carries weight. It's important to me. If I love you, then the weight of the relationship in my life should carry weight in my life. It should be heavy. It should be weighty. What's up, Elder Glass? Good to see you on tonight, bro.
Hey, family.
It should be heavy. So we shouldn't walk away from the heaviness. Okay. For example, the example that you use, having the real conversation or the tough conversation. In perspective, you should be able to talk about, in a relationship where love lives, you should be able to talk about anything.
That is true. And so to your point, when you have those conversations, usually the weight is lifted. Like once you talk about the hard thing. But see, here's the thing, and we'll get to this. I think it's down a little bit later in our notes tonight. But a lot of people don't want to have those heavy conversations because there's a fear of being vulnerable. Elliot, hey family, love y'all.
What's going on, family?
just that being vulnerable, because and that could be. Now here's the thing. It makes me sad to see married couples that can't be vulnerable with one another. Couples that are dating or on their way into a place in relationship, I could see having some, just learning how to be vulnerable in that space. Because and married couples, I don't want to sound judgy because we had to get there in some areas too. It just makes me sad when a person feels like they cannot be vulnerable in their most precious space. In their most private space.
That's different to me. And the reason why is because, okay, like when we first came in, I came into the relationship open. Because I don't have anything to hide. What am I trying to hold on to? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to hold on to something, that is a red flag. What are you trying to hold on to? And what's more important than holding on to what is going to work for us together?
Right. And so here's where I don't challenge that, because I came in open book as well. However, we have sat across the table from individuals that we coached that kind of came in with some painful history, and there was shame, and they were still working their way through just being accepted, in the beloved, being accepted by Jesus. And so they were still working in that space, trying to get their vertical relationship together and getting comfortable being vulnerable even with the Lord. And so it was just tough. I could just see the anguish on their faces trying to go there in certain conversations. And so that can be heavy. And the reason why we're calling these things out, because they can be heavy, but the point that we're trying to really get to is when love lives in your relationship, push until love lives, shameless plug. When love lives in your relationship, it will make things that should naturally be heavy a little bit lighter.
It should, and it will, if you allow it to take root in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's get to Taylor. Taylor said, a fear of rejection, pride, and a closet full of unhealed trauma, a perfect recipe. Absolutely. Because a lot of times, okay, so because my family, because the way I grew up, we grew up having to be open. My dad didn't let nothing ride. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't hiding nothing in our house. My dad was gonna make you talk about it, and he didn't care who was there. He would embarrass me in front of my friends. He would wait till my friends come over and talk about my shoes sitting over there in the corner that had been over there for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have an opportunity to not share. We didn't have an opportunity to not be comfortable being vulnerable. It was going to happen regardless if you wanted to or not. Now, I know that's not everybody's testimony, but I think when you understand the benefit of being open, being honest, not having any secrets, because secrets are what kills relationships. Secrets do. If you're not coming clean about how you feel about something. Well, if I don't know that something is upsetting you, right, and I'm continuing to do something that's upsetting you, then how can we fix what's upsetting you when you're not willing to tell me what's upsetting you because you feel like I'm going to do something when you haven't even gave it an opportunity to live in the relationship?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think when it comes to having the real conversations, and because this is the thing, if the relationship carries weight, the weight from the relationship should be the thing that makes you have the real good conversation. What's going on, sis? Good to see you on tonight.
Good evening, babe.
That should make you have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, okay, if I place value, like when we first started dating, I placed value on our relationship. Yeah. So when you did stuff I didn't like, that value had to shine through the darkness. Because when you have value on something, you're not so willing to let it go because you understand the value in it. You know what I'm saying? And so that was what helped me. Like when we were having our moments figuring one another out, and there were things that I was doing that you probably didn't like. There were things that you were doing that I probably didn't like. The weightiness of the relationship the why to the relationship. We knew that we had a greater purpose together.
Mm-hmm.
And because we knew that we had that greater purpose together, that was, to me, this is my point of view. I can't tell you if that's how you view it, but how I viewed it was because I knew we had this greater purpose together. All the other stuff became secondary to the weightiness of what I knew we had together.
Absolutely. Purpose definitely puts things into perspective. And even when you're talking about, if you're the person that has the hard thing to share or the heavy thing that you need to get off of your chest, or, just to kind of get the conversation going with, the purpose of that relationship is so that you can. A lot of times when you are in a marriage, there are things that you've never been able to share with other people. But in that safe space of marriage, it opens the door for you to have that person who's not going to judge you, who's not going to look at you crazy, who's really going to love you and walk with you through it, because sometimes there's pressure. I don't know why. It was a trick of the enemy. Freedom, right? It's like, if I say this thing, I'm going to be free of it. It's out. I don't want to worry about it no more. But the enemy is like, well, if you say that, they might leave you. If you say that, they might do it. So listen to this. Word to the wise. If you're dating, for my singles here, if there are things about your life that you need to share because it's just out of respect for the relationship, do not be afraid that if you share, they might leave you. Because here's the thing. If that person leaves, then it wasn't meant to be. And I know that's hard to hear when our emotions are all tied up and wrapped up in it. But if they leave because you've given them truth, go ahead. You looking at me. Go ahead.
You can't care. Like,
I knew it was
I'm
coming.
not letting people box me in. Like, stop letting people box you in. Be free. Like, I'm going to say what I want to say because I want to say it. If you don't like it, if you don't like a part of my life, you don't need to be a part of my life. I'm not walking around on eggshells around people trying to please people when at the end of the day, you're the one that's being impacted. They are sleeping at night. You sit over there, can't sleep, waking up in the morning, tearing your job up because you ain't resting and you acting unbecoming of someone who should be happy to have a job because you're walking around carrying the stress of people. I'm not carrying the stress of people. I'm going to say what needs to be said because it needs to be said. And if you don't like it, then let's have a real conversation. This generation of not being willing to have the real conversation and not be willing to hear what makes another person feels a certain kind of way, we got to get away from that. We got to be better at carrying people. Like, okay, say what you need to say. I'll get over it. We had this, when we first got together, I told my wife, I said, even if it's going to hurt me, tell me the truth. I don't want to find the truth out with someone else. Tell me the truth. Tell me where you at so I know. Don't be beating around the bush and sitting around here about getting ready to faint and getting sick, you losing weight because you ain't talking. Tell me. I want to know.
So here's an example. And we say this all the time when we're coaching people. If you have been physically abused, sexually abused, if you contracted an STD and you like those kinds of things, those are needful conversations. Now, here's what I will also say. You don't offer that up just walking into like the first time I meet you. Oh, guess what? I've been raped or I've contracted this. That's not a first kind of conversation.
No.
Because you don't even know if that person is going to be in your life beyond that first date, right? But the moment, and I want you to hear me clearly, the moment a second date comes or a third date and you start considering a relationship beyond just casual friendship with this person, certain conversations need to come up.
I was a little bit different because like when we met, I was just like, I don't care. Listen, if you're gonna be around my babies, I'm telling you everything. If you can carry what I got to say.
But again, our perspective was different because we weren't dating just to be dating. We were dating with intentions of getting married.
Okay. But see, if more people did that,
oh Lord.
If more people, listen to what I'm saying. If more people dated with a purpose and stop all this frivolous dating, especially if you're a believer, date with a purpose. Like I'm not dating to be in a relationship to be just dating for 2 years. No, we need to have a time frame. We need to have some time limits. for real, I got things to do.
So how long are we doing this?
Listen, me and the Lord got things to do. And if you on board, you on board. If you ain't, move. Because I don't got time.
Yeah.
My time back in the day, I consider my time precious. I had babies. I had little ones that I was responsible for.
Are we on Wi-Fi? We're getting some freezing over here. I'm just making sure. But yeah, when you have children involved, there's some things have to be fast tracked when children are involved, and you're talking about blending a family. So there are some things that need to be fast tracked when you're talking about that.
Absolutely.
But yeah. So the way that we approach, lifting the weight or lifting the heaviness.
Let's go.
When you are getting ready to have that conversation, just lead out with, it's hard for me to talk about this, but I want to share. That it should trigger empathy in the person that you're talking to. So that's kind of a good lead out statement when you're getting ready to have a hard conversation or a conversation that's heavy. It's difficult for me to talk about this, but boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
All right.
Like it.
So next, the next letter in our acronym for hard. Why is it so hard? We had H is for heavy. A is for argumentative. Oh, Lord. Why does it have to be so argumentative? Why?
Well, I think sometimes people don't know how argumentative they really are. I think people don't really understand how disgruntled they can be. You know what I'm saying? Like some people can just flat out be disgruntled and they don't know I'm disgruntled. Like you're mean. You're a mean person. It's hard to talk to you because you're mean. And you argue about everything. It's like if I come to you about ordering a pizza, you got to be argumentative. Well, why you want to order pizza? Why can't we get a burger? Who cares? Do you want a burger? Okay, let's get a burger. Well, you shouldn't have asked me if I wanted a pizza first. You should have asked. I'm not you. So I'm not going to think about things like you think about things. So grant me some grace.
Alandra says speaking freely can sometimes lead to an argument.
It can. It shouldn't, but it can. Now let's explore why it does. Why does it? Why does speaking freely lead to an argument?
I'm going to say usually, okay, it could be one of two things. It could be the packaging, how you are packaging your words when you speak freely.
Okay.
Or it could sometimes be you're saying one thing, but the person you're speaking to is hearing something different. Okay.
So how can one speak freely? All right. How can one speak freely without you getting offended when I'm speaking freely? Like if I'm speaking freely, I should be able to speak and you should be able to listen and not take what I'm saying personal. Because if I'm speaking freely, sometimes when you speak freely, just speaking.
Are you speaking freely about me, about something particular to me?
Let's just say I am. Let's just say I am speaking freely about you. Okay, because I think this is why arguments happen. Arguments happen because before we get into a conversation, we don't set the ground rules for that particular conversation. And because we don't set the ground rules for the conversation, now when you hear me talking freely and something hits you, you mad because I said something because we didn't set ground rules. So before you start having conversation, I think we should now start setting ground rules to certain conversations. Like if we're going to have a deep conversation, we need to set ground rules for that conversation. If you're going to be talking freely about me, then you need to tell me, hey, I'm going to be talking freely about you. Don't take personal what I'm saying. Don't argue with me. Just listen to what I have to say. And if you want to say something, tap me on the shoulder. Give me a raise your hand, do something, let me know you want to jump in so I can jump out the way and you can now talk freely, and I got to give you the floor to talk freely.
All right. And so, yes, so set ground rules. The other thing I would add is use I feel statements.
Absolutely.
Instead of saying you always do X, Y, and Z. I feel like you do, or because that does, anytime you say you always doing this, you always say that, you
defense.
Guess what's going up? Defenses, walls, and then voices are going to start going up. Pitch and tone is going to start going up, right? And then you're arguing about how you arguing. That just sounds, I know it sounds crazy, but it happens all the time.
Don't weaponize your freedom. And this is what I mean by that. All right, you speaking freely. Remember what Cassie said. Don't weaponize what you're saying. Use certain phrases to help them understand or to take the fight away from them. Like, because you can say words that leads one to want to fight. You can say words that leads one to want to argue because of how you're approaching the conversation. So having ground rules, like, okay, if we're having a conversation in the morning, we have this thing where we're like, okay, are you ready? Are you really ready to have this conversation? Or do we need to have this conversation after you get off work, got your nap in, and then go?
I don't want to talk about anything heavy before I have to go to work. Heavy things that could turn into an argument. I don't want to start my day like that. I just don't want to do it. Daniel said always and never happened.
Listen.
This is true. This is true. Pastor Caleb said love lives unoffendable.
Come on, Pastor Caleb. Come on in here. Come on in the house. Listen, this is, and okay, last year, don't ask me why I asked this, or a year and a half ago. Don't ask me why I asked this. I don't know. It was the Spirit led me to this. It wasn't Joe. It was the Spirit. Okay. So I said, Lord, help me be unoffendable. No. Why did I pray that prayer? Why? Because when I tell you the gates were open and I had to learn. And so I'm sitting on the side of the bed. I said, Lord, I need you to show me how to do this because I asked for something I didn't know I wasn't ready for. So now it's coming. I need you to show me how to respond now that it's coming and I have to learn the lesson. What the Holy Spirit said to me was, think well of these people. Think well when they bring you. I don't care what they bring you. Think well of them, because when you think well of them, it takes offense away from you. Mm-hmm. When you're thinking well, when they're saying things that are crazy, and you're thinking in your mind, this is what they really mean. It helps you sit there and just listen. You can take it. You won't be jumping in because you're thinking well of them. You're thinking well. Think well about people. We got a question on the floor.
So how do you get your delivery and intent behind what you are saying across if it is a heavy or sensitive topic? So again, I think the first part is just leading out with, hey, this is difficult for me to talk about. This is a heavy or it's a sensitive subject. It's going to be patience on the person, on the listener's side. And I say it takes patience on the listener's side, because if I'm telling you this is heavy or this is a sensitive topic for me, then it is at that point Joe's responsibility to operate in some grace and some empathy, because love will say, this is hard for her to say. I'm not about to jump on, every word that she says, or vice versa. If Joe is coming to me and saying, hey, I want to talk to you about something, it's going to be hard to talk about, but I need you to hear me. Right then, it's up to me at that point as the listener to say, if I know I'm not in a good space, can I have a few minutes just to get myself together or whatever? But the bottom line is, it's my responsibility as the listener to mature, to come on up and to get myself ready for what may be hard to hear. And so the delivery, it's all about your like positive intent, right? When you're giving a message and it's a sensitive subject, most of the time our intention is because we want resolution in that area. So that should be a good thing. So
hey, Siobhan.
If he's coming to me with good intentions as far as a heavy or sensitive topic, I got to pull my defenses all the way down. And so I will say, as long as there's love in your delivery and then your intentions are good, and God, you can't really control how the other person on the other side of it is going to respond. But the way you get your delivery and intent behind what you're trying to say across is just package it in love.
Siobhan says, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And I think
that's it.
When you take that approach, thank you for chiming in,
yes,
Sis Siobhan. Hello. When you are thinking about what's being said, right? So there's two ways this goes, right? So for the listener, the word says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. But then it also says a soft response turns away wrath. So if you're bringing your person a response, or if you're bringing your person something that you want to discuss, then bring it with soothing tones, well thought out words. I feel like responses. Because now what you're doing is you're taking the weaponized part of the conversation away. You can't weaponize. We got to stop weaponizing our concerns. Mm-hmm. So we have a concern, but we turn that concern into a knife. So you said, you make me feel like, you're stabbing, you're jabbing, you're taking away this person. You're taking away from this person being able to even receive you well, because you're walking in the door with a weapon. If you walk into anybody's house with a weapon, they're going to get into a stance to fight.
Correct.
So you got to understand, when I walk in the door or when I walk into the conversation, I cannot walk into the conversation weaponizing my words.
Not at all. Not at all. So arguments can be productive when they are rooted in respect. That's the other piece in getting, when we're having these conversations about heavy and sensitive things, having respect for one, just basic human respect, just keeping our mouth shut while we can hear the other person speak, and vice versa. And I'm an interjector, so I have to work on this a lot. I have a hard time hearing things that if I don't think is true about me, I have a hard time just sitting and listening. If I don't think it is true of me, hear what I'm saying to you. Sometimes it is hard to hear things that you don't think are true of you. However, you're not experiencing you on the other side of you.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
So
I'm just not you, Pastor Caleb. See, we got to do what Pastor Caleb said. We got to package in love, and it equals patient and kind. When you package it in love, patience and kindness will 9 times out of 10 be the response to your packaging. What Colossians 3:14 says this: put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Put on love. Like, so if I'm putting on love, if I'm coming in love, right? I'm putting it on, like, that should help us not be in an argumentative space. You know what I'm saying? What Pastor Caleb was saying.
He said, we are on the same team. Reserve the weapons for the principalities trying to tear down your relationship.
Let's go.
You got some fire on that thing.
Come on, man.
Sir. Yes, sir.
On, bro. Listen,
yes, sir.
We're going to have to bring Pastor Caleb in. We're going to have to, the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to bring him on to Marriage Village with us, because he is a person that we work in ministry with. He's a pastor of a church called Kingdom Life Church in Salisbury, Indiana. We do a lot of ministry together, and we both are people. We all are people who do marriage ministry, and we are lovers of Christ, and we push love. That is what we push. We're love pushers. You know what I'm saying? So I love that perspective.
Hold on. Daniel says nobody wants to believe that they are responsible for hurting someone else, and that's true. And then here's the thing. If you love Jesus, if you have love in your heart, you don't really like how it feels to be responsible for hurting someone else. No. I don't like it. I don't like to know that I've hurt my husband. I don't want to be that girl. I don't like how that feels. I don't like how it sounds. I don't like how it feels. But here's the truth. I've hurt my husband. I have. I've heard. I'm sure hurt his feelings. Not and vice versa. But again, to your point, nobody wants to believe that they're responsible for hurting someone else. But we all have hurt the person that we're in a relationship at some point or another.
Yeah.
Whether intentional or not, it happens. It's relationship.
You can't control it. It's a part of relationship. And I do believe that hurt is a part of relationship. You're going to experience hurt because experiencing that hurt is what gives you the ability to have your love tested in a healthy environment.
Mm-hmm. Amen. I like that.
It is because God, he's going to test you, but he's going to test you in a healthy environment. So what better place than to test you in a place where love lives? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I know you love me, I should be able to tell you the hard thing about yourself and you not take it some kind of way. I should be able to say that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to say, this is how that made me feel. It hurt my feelings. I should be able to be vulnerable.
Yep, you should be.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a safe space. Siobhan said, yes, I just had to apologize to my husband. I had the knife out this morning. Come on. But see, the thing is just acknowledging that though, right? Yeah. And then doing the needful. I had to apologize this morning. It must have been just apology morning. I had to apologize because here's the thing. The other thing, you can't expect your person that you're in a relationship with to do things the way you would do them, especially when they're a pastor. And you're talking about ministry related things because he's the senior pastor. So there's a vision that God has given him to move the ministry along. I add value to it. Like I can, the Lord gives me things for the ministry. However, I don't get the final decision. And I don't get to have a tantrum when it's not going the way that I think the way that I thought might be better. And whether it's a tantrum verbally or a tantrum emotionally or a tantrum in the silent. Because you can have a tantrum without having a tantrum. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Your attitude can stink. You can be snippy and sharp and just all the things. And so, this morning I had to apologize. I got up and got down to pray. And the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, you know that whole leave your gift at the altar scripture that you know and that you share to others. Leave it right here. leave it all right here. And go on in the bathroom and do the needful.
It does, Alandria. It does. See, this is the thing. This is what we don't realize. And what you said is a great revelation. God uses our relationships to mature us. And because the truth of the matter is a lot of us have been and may be emotionally immature. And our emotions have to gain intelligence. We have to be emotionally intelligent. And sometimes because you have been so wrapped up in the emotion of a thing, you have been blinded from truth. See, emotions will blind you from truth. You want me to tell you how I know that? Because Peter was blinded for truth. That's why Jesus told him, I rebuke you, Satan. Get behind me. You are not setting your affections. You are not setting your feelings and your emotions on the things of God. So you are getting ready you're trying to pull me off my course. And I can't allow you to pull me off. So I need you to grow up in this moment. You need to stop being emotionally immature. And I need you to grow up in this moment. And because again, that emotionally immature people are the people who 9 times out of 10 in relationship who will be argumentative. Mm-hmm. Those are the people. Well, you said, everything I'm saying, you getting offended at?
Yeah.
That right there should show you're emotionally immature. If no one can say anything to you without you taking offense, getting mad, having something to say, having a rebuttal, pulling out your shield and blocking and then striking. No, put the weapons down. Yeah. Come in and let's have a real conversation.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Stop weaponizing stop using your feelings as a weapon. Stop using your emotions as a weapon and be mature. Because maturity will teach you how to put your weapon down.
Every time.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, what's next?
All right. So next, why is it so hard? Our R tonight is raw. right? Raw conversations are those conversations that expose your deepest fears, your insecurities, and any unmet needs. Those raw conversations are those conversations that keep us we feel we're vulnerable there. And we kind of talked a little bit about that already, but raw conversation, it's uncomfortable, but they're uncomfortable, but they're powerful.
Absolutely. And I've learned that we have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. As weird as that sounds, that's my reality. That's why I don't mind having the uncomfortable conversation, because it's going to be me not being happy is uncomfortable. I don't like not being happy. So guess what? We're going to have a conversation about it because it's uncomfortable. And then now you're going to get to get some real truths about my person.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like if I'm telling you something true and that pings your person, guess what? That's going it can set up for a great conversation.
Yeah. Yep. So like raw conversations. So for example, when you're talking about fears, I'm afraid you'll leave me if I fail, right? That can be a real thing and that's just not for men. Like women or men can feel like failures in their relationship. And depending on if they had a previous relationship where somebody left them because they didn't measure up in an area, that if it's not dealt with, it's going to show up here. It's going to show up in the present. Or feeling like they're not enough. Absolutely. If someone was previously married or in another relationship and somebody left them and they said, you're just not enough, that's going to show up over here if it's unhealed. I need more affection, right? But afraid that fear to ask, those are raw conversations because, you need more. I'm not enough for you. And it's like, okay, no.
Now we're deflecting. That's how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
Don't have a moment of deflection while in a moment of raw, deep, what's the other word? Vulnerability. Don't have a deflective moment then. That is such a wreck in that moment. Like, let that person have their moment. And I used to be bad at this because, like when a person tells you something, you want to just massage and do the things. No, let them have their vulnerable moment. And they will tell you when it's time to comfort. The moment will show you when it's time to comfort. But when a person is being vulnerable, that's not the time to deflect. That's the time to listen. What I believe it was the Reverend Music Soul Child, he had a record called Just Listen. Sometimes we need to play that record and just listen. Close the mouth and listen to what's being said, because you can learn a lot just from listening. You can get the cheat codes just from listening. Pastor Caleb says, why are the architects of our environment? We are the architects of our environment. If we build a secure and peace-filled environment, then raw conversations can actually be had in safety.
Absolutely.
I love it. Let's go, Pastor Caleb. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I love that. Yeah. So I think we have to remember, that's great. We are the architects. We are the designers of our environment. And if we're not watching over that, if we're not creating safe environments, we're not creating environments where real raw conversations can be had, then we are actually the creator of its demise.
Yeah. So again, they're tender, but when you can have those tender conversations and feel like you're cared for when you have them, it's going to build the intimacy in your relationship. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to have those, to have those raw conversations. But on the flip side, be a person in your relationship that your spouse will feel comfortable coming to you to lay them down. In the shameless plug for 12 Commandments of a Wife in Progress, my women's Devo, I kind of shared a point that I've heard along the way, that the world beats men down so badly. When your husband comes home, wives, don't add to what the world is already doing. The home should be a soft place for him to land, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. After being under pressure all day from wherever, from whatever other sources there are, you don't want to come home and have the same, have to put up, be on defense all the time. It's kind of like you want to take that armor off and let your walls down. And so be that, because it's going to build the intimacy in your relationship. Were you about to say something?
No, I was going to say what Alandria, I call her Alandria, has said. Just asking, would you like me? That I think more people need to do that. Like, ask, would you like me to listen? Because then you know what the expectation is. Mm-hmm. Now I can go in knowing, okay, my job is to just listen.
Facts.
My job is to be attentive and give them my ears. You know what I'm saying? You can, women, I'm going to tell you this. You will never know how important your ears are to your husband. He trusts you with his deepest and most vulnerable places. And a lot of times, having the conversation with you is what allows him to work out what he's going to do when it comes to decision making. Because a man that loves his wife honors her opinion.
Yeah.
He wants to know your opinion. And don't get frustrated with him asking you for your opinion. Because a real man, a real husband is not just going to make a decision without considering you first. So he's asking you a question because he's considering you. So when we understand,
that's a nugget.
He's considering what is important to me. He's considering how this may impact me. So he's giving me, he wants my ears because he wants to know how I feel about this decision because he cares. And I think if we, in men, vice versa, women are bringing you their concerns. And sometimes the only thing they want you to do is listen. Because them being heard by you is more than them hearing your words in a particular moment.
Brother Daniel says, be the easer.
Absolutely.
Helper.
Absolutely. I love that,
and
bro.
And then Alandria said, opinion versus answer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one that I had to learn as well, because just because he asked my opinion doesn't mean that that's the answer he's gonna go with. So we can't be so locked in to our answer, which is really just an opinion for him, but it may not be the final decision, and vice versa.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to our last letter, and why is it so hard? D is for disruptive. And when we talk about disruptive, why we're talking about those conversations that shake things up, that challenge routines, assumptions, and comfort zones. And so disruption is sometimes great.
Absolutely.
We need our challenge, our routines need to be challenged. Our assumptions need to be challenged. Our comfort zones need to be challenged. We need to be moved out of comfort sometimes. Why are you laughing?
Because I remember when we were in Columbus, and I used to be very stickler about, you were talking about this weekend, and I just
Lord, mess. Here it comes.
I used to be so much of a stickler of my running times on the weekend and running on my lunch times. And I would not give those up. But that made my wife feel a kind of way. And I didn't realize how it made her feel. You know what I'm saying? But that needed to be disrupted because it was making her feel a kind of way. So it didn't make a difference necessarily what it meant for me. because it was disrupted for her. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes our systems and things that we have set up should be challenged. And I believe that's God's way of keeping us from getting too selfish with our space. What she said? What they said?
Bro had no flexibility on that.
No, and there was a reason because I was of the opinion that if I got into a routine of letting it be broken, then I will lose my discipline.
And I wasn't even asking for a routine of brokenness. I asked for one Saturday breakfast or one day in the week where we could go to lunch because we worked right across the street from each other.
Oh man, I was hot as fish grease. I was like, because this is what made me blow, because she would always do it on my Saturday. She'd be like, I want to go get breakfast. And I'm like, lady, don't you understand? This is my Saturday routine.
Don't you understand that we work Monday through Friday? There's no opportunity for breakfast. And Sunday, power church is what we had. Because we were at church
so mad
all day on Sunday. So yeah. Yes.
Oh my God. I can't listen.
Right.
I meant it. I meant it. But it needed to be challenged. And let me say this. It's helping me in this season of my life where my schedule is all over the place, and I just have to find times where I can get my run in. Thank God I was able to be flexible. Hallelujah.
Brother Daniel said, give that woman some time when you start. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Alandria said that is a prime example of what was said versus what was heard.
Absolutely.
Correct. Oh man!
Listen, Power Church on Saturdays.
No, Sunday.
Oh yeah. Oh Lord.
In Columbus.
Woo-wee. Man.
Yeah. So, couple final points. But so disruption shouldn't be destruction. The purpose of disruption is really transformation and growth. Interrupting those routines to stretch us to grow beyond where we are. So, when you talk about boundaries in a relationship, you're redefining how you relate to one another, so that's you're disrupting old patterns. When you talk about commitment, those hard conversations about commitment, you're clarifying the future. So disrupting any other plans that maybe you had in your single time or your single moments of reflection. And now that you've come together as one, kind of figuring out the future, disrupting that idea that I can't talk about my fears, because when I talk about my fears, I'm building connection. And then also disrupting the idea that conflict is going to destroy the relationship, because it really doesn't. It really won't. It only destroys it if you let it. Right?
Absolutely.
So as we get ready to close, a couple other little things. I don't know, so tools to navigate hard conversations. Number 1, set the stage. Timing is everything for your conversations, all right? So choose a calm time. We always say, and I learned this from Pat Bray, one of my mentors back in the day, talk about the hard things in times of peace.
Yep.
So don't be in a time, wartime is not the time to start talking about the hard stuff. Nah. You're already in a battle. So in times of peace, those are the best times to talk about some of the hard things. Yep. Another thing, when you are in the middle of one disagreement, let that be the thing you're talking about. Do not jump ship mid-argument and start bringing in other things, because it's going to get you off of resolving the one thing that you're actually talking about, because you've jumped over here to something else, right? So stay on topic. And then don't do this late at night or first thing in the morning, unless you both agree.
Right.
Because we said find an agreeable time. So if both of you agree, you want to start your day talking about tough things, hey, go for it. But I don't prefer to start my day with anything that can lead into an argument, because I won't be my best. I won't show up as my best at work. Use those gentle openers. Can we talk about this? I need to share something with you. It's hard for me to talk about this. Set it up, pitch it up before you just jump into it. And then validate each other's feelings. Like when you're going through the conversation, you're talking about the hard things, acknowledge that person's feelings. Acknowledge empathy. That's really all it boils down to.
Take breaks.
Yeah. So if things start getting heated, you might want to take that pot off the stove. Just take a break. And then if things are to the point where you just can't discuss together, then you already know, we always talk about having an upline, somebody that you can talk to that has a little more wisdom and that can provide guidance that you both trust to have the conversation. So talk about hard things because they matter, because in that vulnerable space, it's going to build intimacy. And it's truly the work of love when you can actually talk about these hard things and move through them. All right. Any closing remarks, sir?
Hey, man, you got the information for a reason. Use it. Use the information. Don't just get on and not take the information that's given. The information has been tried, tested, and proven. It works if you work it. That's what our spiritual parents say. It works if you work it.
Mm-hmm.
Put it to work. Care about having healthy conversation and make sure that, when you're having the hard conversations, you're being thoughtful towards the other person while you're doing so. So, make sure you're doing these things, and we guarantee, you'll have a great result if you do them. You got anything you want to add?
No, I think we're all good. Did you want to make the announcement about Church in the Village or any other announcements?
We can.
Go for it. I'm typing.
All right. Well, we have found our building. We go into the building this coming Sunday. Service time is 5 p.m. Sundays, 5 p.m. Church in the Village. Sunday Night Live, SNL. We will be live every Sunday evening at 5 p.m. unless otherwise noted. We also will be doing Bible studies at the church on Tuesday at 7 p.m. No longer in the house. We will be at the church. So please come out if you want to come and be in an engaging environment to learn the word of God, ask questions, grow together, be in community. Please make sure that you come. So again, Church in the Village starts at 5 p.m. on Sundays. We will be online. We will be, I'm almost certain we'll be on YouTube. We'll be on one of the platforms. We'll give you guys all that information. But we thank you guys. We'll be in the building this coming Sunday, our first Sunday in the building. We are so excited about that.
Yay.
So again, 5 p.m. on Sunday, 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. You got something you want to add?
Just excited for that. I know we talked to you also. We kind of briefly teed up potentially a marriage village. Yeah. I don't know if it's on Power Shop. We don't know what's
it's coming in October.
But October coming to a location near you if you're in Kentucky.
Yeah. First Sunday in the building. Absolutely. This coming Sunday. August 17th.
August 17th. Yes. And we do have a Church in the Village Facebook page. It is under Thomas Martin because something is going weird with Facebook where we could not do a ministry page for whatever reason. I don't know if I have to. It might be user error, and I might need to find somebody that can help us navigate that space. But right now, the page is under Thomas Martin, and it does say Church in the Village in the name and on the banner and on the profile picture. So we will be posting everything there. So find us on Facebook, Church in the Village, and we will have all updates posted there, all service times. There are some Sundays where we may just meet only online, but all of the information, the schedule is online, and we will also be announcing it every Monday. So stay connected. If you would like to connect with us, you can text us at 561-249-4794. Again, 561-249-4794. You can text your email to that address, or to that phone number. Sorry, you can text your email address to that phone number, and we will plug you in to receive regular updates for Church in the Village.
Absolutely. So come out, man. You know, we are trying to build something special. We believe that God is going to use Church in the Village to do some pretty cool things. So come be a part. And even if you are a digital disciple, you can come on and we will love you just the same. You come on the Bible studies, you'll be a part of the group me, all those kinds of things. So please, let's go. We should have some dates here. We should have the date here for October, probably in the next week or two. So keep praying, and we're gonna get this thing going. So we get ready to get out of here. It has been real. We love you guys. Thank you all so much for always chiming in and doing your part in the conversation.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing y'all next Monday. You know what it is. Same time, same place.
Marriage
next Monday.
Village Mondays. Peace.
Peace.